So the main thing that I had to learn was the Facebook side. And I would say on that side, there are tons of YouTube videos with tons of different strategies. You know, you need to be using ABO, or you need to be using CBO, or you need to, I don't know, like so many different strategies. And you're like, which one do I pick? And it wasn't until I spoke to one of my friends that he was just like, bro, Facebook is 1,000 times smarter than you. Their AI and their algorithm has unlimited data, more than any human being that's ever used Facebook ads. Like, they have access to everything. Let it do the work. And that changed the game, because I literally just took like top performing ads, put it into all one campaign, one ad set, and just put a cost cap on it. So you say to Facebook, I don't want to pay more than £20 for a customer. And if it doesn't think it can reach that target, it won't spend. And if it does, then it'll spend your money. And then we were just ultra profitable. The problem came then was like not getting it to spend. So for example, I would have this cost control on and it doesn't spend. But the solution is so easy. It's just make better ads, or make more ads, make new angles. So then you've only really got like one or two ways to go. It's either up the budget or make more ads. And boom, you like all of your like mental bandwidth is just like completely freed up, because you know exactly what to do at all times. So my advice to anyone, like if they were starting e-commerce, just keep it simple. Like one campaign, one or two ad sets or whatever, like basically like one campaign per product, one ad set per country. Simple. Yeah. And despite you, I guess, discovering that and going through that learning process, in the end, you still decided to outsource your meta ads again. Yeah. What was the thought process behind that? Was it, well, I guess you can share. Yeah. So like we were doing okay. We were doing okay in terms of revenue. However, I just knew that our profit margins should be way higher, and our ROAS, obviously, which is what dictates the profit margins, should be way higher for Q4. And I was like, let me just run it myself though, just for now. Like, because again, I still don't really know what I'm doing. Like Facebook's been doing the most of the legwork for me throughout the year. And then I'm like, okay, but historically we've had to change our strategy in Q4. Like I mentioned earlier, the ads that worked in December don't work in January. And that's always been the case throughout every single year. It's been a pattern. So I thought, okay, the same is probably going to happen in Q4. I'm going to have to change something and be a bit more hands-on. But I don't know what. That's the problem, right? We're not having the experience. So yeah, I ended up letting it run for a couple of weeks in October, and it got to mid-October. And I was like, okay, I'm really not happy with how this is going. Like, we should be doing way more. And I went back to my original media buyer that I had when I sold the store the first time. And I said, look, this is where the store's at right now. What weak points do you see? And in the end, he gave me this like Loom audit and was like, yeah, I do this, and this. And I was like, okay, great. So I know what to do now. It was still within cost caps, but it was just a different way of testing different caps quicker. And of course, more creatives and whatever. So I was like, you know what? I've learned a lot over these months and months. I know I can implement that strategy if I need to. There's nothing that like I don't really know how to do in all this, how much like to have you back on board. And he gave me a good offer. I hired him on the spot then, and worked with him ever since. And literally last week he flew to Dubai. I met him in person for the first time. He's doing really well. A lot of his other clients that he's got are growing. He's making a bunch of money because his retainers are growing. And yeah, we now work really well together, like super analytical approach. And he smashed it. Like Q4, oh my God, like I was working on optimizing literally like every tiny little bit. I would not have had time for the ads. Like in my, even though the time input of clicking buttons on Meta is little, it's the mental bandwidth of thinking. It's the thinking time. And I was like, I just don't want that right now. Like there's so much else to focus on, whether it be emails, whether it be customer support, whether it be fulfillment. That's a big one, which we can go into. But yeah, having that taken off my hands, I think it was at the perfect point, because it got so busy after that. After that point, I would not have kept up with it. Yeah, I think you're right. It's just the mental capacity, isn't it? Like you say, in short, is it that much work inside of the actual ad account? No, but it's the strategy behind it, the data analysis, knowing what to do next. Because like you say, there are times where you maybe have a slower day, or things start to downtrend, or creatives start to die off. How do we overcome that? And it's that mental bandwidth that you need, and the diligence to be able to keep scaling and growing during your best time of year. So I think it's what you have been able to do, it seems, is I think you've made a good judgment call on kind of like when to delegate and kind of who to delegate to, but you've done it by still managing to build quite a close-knit team. Like you've used the same media buyer, you've used the same VA, the same person fulfilling the orders, which we know who that is. Yes. So when I moved to Dubai back in 2022, I had a friend fulfilling orders. Yeah. And it came one point where I think I was like literally in a hotel about to finish my Emirates ID process and fully move here, when I got a message saying like, I need to focus on my actual job. I don't have time to do this. And I was like, oh God, my orders aren't going to go out now. So my dad said, I'll just do it for now. no, you don't have to pay me. And I was like, no, I'd pay you what I was paying my friend, like, no problem. And like, yeah, you could just fulfill the orders. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
And literally nothing went wrong. It's been the best, like, I guess, working relationship of my life, because who can you trust more than your own parents? And, you know, when the business grows, so we always like pay fulfillment per order. So when the business grows, they get paid more. Obviously, the work is more, but, you know, like, my parents are still relatively young. So I was like, I'll retire you guys. Don't worry. I will make enough money to retire you guys. But for now, while I can't afford to do that and just pay them salaries, like, what a better way than to work with them. So I was like, yeah, this is sick. This is sick. So yeah, it grew from just my dad in start of 2022. And he actually fulfilled it even when the buyer bought the business. He was still the one fulfilling it. They kept him on, which was sick. So he knows everything inside out, to the point where we actually had to hire 2 additional people to help with fulfillment in like Q4, so November, December time. Yeah. So we literally had, like, you know, a proper like conveyor belt operation going on, and it was incredible. Like, I even just went back to the UK for Christmas, and me and my mum went in, because I gave my dad and everyone else in the office, like, obviously Christmas off, like, as you do, like, it's kind of normal in the UK. You don't go into the office then, but I knew that if I didn't do it, then there would just be this massive backlog and everyone's order would be delayed. And I was like, you know what, why not? So it was literally like 6 hours a day during Christmas. Like, even on Christmas Day, me and my mum would just be in there packing orders, chatting away. And that was really eye-opening to see it physically in front of you. Because it's one thing, numbers on a screen, but when you physically have to put in the hours and you're sweating and you're like, you're packing all these things up and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy.
I think that's probably quite a useful exercise for business owners. I'm not saying, you know, going down to the fulfillment center and packing orders on Christmas Day, but I mean, just every now and then dipping back into the processes or keeping a pulse on them to see, can this be made more efficient? What is this process actually like?
Yeah,
you know,
instantly I noticed, like, okay, we're going to change this. Whereas, like, my dad was almost too polite to say, like, this is slowing me down or this is slowing me down. Yeah. So now I'm like, yeah, anything that I can improve, send it to me. Even if we can't do it right away, I got a list of stuff. Like, a lot of our stuff is automated with like custom Shopify apps to help make, because it's a personalized gift brand. So to help, you know, everything be kind of ready to just print for the fulfillment guys. That's all done by an app. It's automated. How can we make the app better? All this, that, the other. So now I have a list of stuff just from going back there and hands-on being there. Yeah. I highly recommend it. And even, like, no matter what stage you get to, like, have you seen like Undercover Boss? Yeah, the TV show. They always find something. You know, whether it's scripted or whether it's staged, is just like the point. Like, yeah, they always find something that they could improve, or something that's going really well they didn't know they need to praise or reward someone for. So I think it's a great exercise. Yeah,
I think that just goes to show the importance of understanding the process as well, and being, I don't want to say in the trenches, but you get the idea, like, you know, being in the weeds, like seeing what's going on, how can we actually improve this and make it better? Because like you say, either employees are maybe too polite, or maybe they haven't even noticed a way, because they're so caught up in the day-to-day, they haven't realized, okay, how can I make this more efficient? Because they're just so caught up actually doing the thing and completing the task, you know? Very true. But it's an amazing journey, like kind of what you've been on, scaling the brand, selling the brand, revenue or income going down to zero, running the brand back up, employing, you know, your father during that, and your mum and things like that as well. So it's been quite a journey that you've been on, and I guess, you know, worth reflecting on as well, like what you have done and what you have been able to achieve, because it's impressive, and you should be proud of what you've achieved.
Thank you.